Alright, welcome back everyone, it's your Code King Zaf here. We just got some interesting confirmations from the developers regarding both Shuwa and Mion, who are part of the Idol collab coming out next week in about 5 days. They have both been confirmed as DPS Hunters. Yes, that's right. As you can see right here, we have Mion, who is a light element DPS hunter who uses defense as a stat, and we have Shuwa, a water element DPS hunter who is designed around the concept of a baby wolf, a theme popular with fans apparently. The main concern here is that they could easily power creep our current hunters like Waterchaw, so I do want to see right now, drop a like on this video if you're someone who doesn't enjoy power creep in gacha games, and if you're new to gacha games, essentially what power creep is, let's say a brand new unit comes out, in this case Shuwa, if she releases and she just out damages every single hunter in the game, that means she just power crept the game, essentially becoming very overpowered on release, which is a common theme in gacha games, where all the brand new characters and weapons generally are much better than the ones before them, which is known as power creep, which is something players are, well, generally not a fan of, because it's a continuous cycle of summoning and summoning for the next best unit, which is not ideal. What I kind of hope would happen is, when it came to Shuwa, she would be a water DPS support unit, giving us some bonus buffs to our team, but I do feel like all hope is not lost. Let me show you. Very quick as a reminder, your support was removed, so make sure you jump back in and support us yet again. We just got a code for 2,000 Essence Zones. Supporting is 100% free, so jump into the link down below and support us. The codes will be sent a few hours after sporting to your My page on the website. This page will load up, then you scroll down all the way here under My Support, Receive Benefits, boom. This is where your codes will go. You should get 3 codes for 2,000 Essence Zones, map extracts, and more, so jump in and support that way you don't miss out on the juicy benefits. And also very quick, a shout out to our first commenters. We have Shira, we have Cyrus, and we have Ryan. A huge shout out to all of you and enjoy that juicy exclusive Discord role, of course. We have this battle demonstration of Shuwa right here, which does give us some insight towards what she can provide to our team, so I don't feel like she's going to be a replacement for Wetshaw, at least I hope not, because watch this, we just got a debuff on the target, so I feel like she's going to be a hybrid DPS, maybe not just a DPS unit, one that provides us some support in some capacity. That is the hope, right? But when it comes to the team composition in this demo, we have Soren and Malin on a team of Shuwa, Wetshaw and Alicia are nowhere to be seen, so a little bit concerning, but I'm hopeful. There's no way the devs are designing hunters, they're just going to power creep the first year anniversary hunter. That would make no sense. It's just poor design, poor taste, and a slap to our face, so I'm going to remain hopeful. I'm going to say that she's going to be a debuffer, and her kit is one that's providing us more of a supportive ability to our team. That's my hope. Maybe I'm just being maximum hopium and copium over here, where I'm just trying to hope that the worst isn't about to happen. But when it comes to Mion, I'm also a bit concerned just because we have Thomas Andre getting a buff. Let me show you. Because as you can see right here, we do have Thomas Andre, Gogan, and Akari. They're all getting buffs, so that's interesting to say the least. Thomas Andre getting a much needed buff as a national level hunter that no one really uses, so I'm wondering what his viability is going to be like. Again, when it comes to Mion, if you noticed earlier, she is going to be a DPS unit, but we already have a main damage dealer to our light team, who's also a defense scaler, so it kind of drives the question, what are the devs planning, right? Mion is a light element defense scaling DPS hunter who utilizes fast-paced attacks and skills that deploy constructs, and Shuwa is a water element melee DPS who showcases an attack style that fits her baby wolf concept. Interesting. Well, let's read their description right here. What I want to focus on here is that her base attacks and core skills focus on fast-paced dynamic action, and her skills involve deploying and detonating constructs. So if you saw earlier in the beginning of the video, she basically puts some obstacles in the way of the enemies that clearly deal damage, I'm assuming. She's also focused with stability in mind, so her autoplay performance is good, making her accessible to beginners. That's nice though. Obviously, we do want some hunters that are easier to use with auto combat. A lot of players do use the auto combat feature. And then we have Shuwa right here. She is a mage which infuses her magic orbs with the soul of a wolf to deliver close range damage. Her core attacks are key. When using a specific skill, she buffs herself and changes core skills consecutively. She is also very easy to use for beginners, so I wonder, although they're DPS Hunters, are they just kind of geared towards the brand new players that are coming in, which would be nice, right? We do get a few copies of these units. We get one to A2 and A1 from my understanding, which is honestly pretty generous knowing the devs right now, and also our banner is a bit easier to summon on, because when you summon on them, if you lose the 50-50, let's say you're summoning for Mion right here, you select Mion on the banner, and you don't pull her, the SSR you pull will not be from our Hunter pool, it'll actually be Shuon, so you're basically guaranteed one or the other, which is nice. I would say that's pretty generous of the devs. That is if you want to summon for them, but I feel like reading their descriptions and the fact that they're beginner friendly, I feel like they're going to be mid-tier DPS hunters who are supporting our current hunters. That's my maximum hopium copium kind of outlook on it. That's what I'm hoping, because if the devs do that, that's acceptable. We don't want them to outscale our current units like Wet Chaw for Shuon and also Thomas Andre when it comes to Mion, because we've wanted Thomas Andre to excel, not to be cast behind by a collaboration hunter. But again, like I mentioned before, when it comes to collab hunters and characters in other games, they do generally outscale our hunters, characters, weapons, etc. There's always a character out there that we basically will have to use in our teams, and I know a lot of you aren't a fan of that, but I'm just speaking the truth. When it comes to gadget games, that is a very common theme. And one thing I do want to talk about as well, are these hunters coming back to the game, or are they going to be one and done event collab hunters? That's another concern of mine, because when it comes to other gacha games, it's a very common theme where a brand new collaboration comes out, these characters never come back unless developers renew their contracts and bring back that IP to the game, which is not something that happens very often, so that is another concern that I do have. Will these hunters come back to the custom draw? Your guess is as good as mine, but that's kind of interesting where, let's say you lose a 50-50 in your custom draw, you'll basically be forced to get them in the pool, which is, well, not ideal or ideal for a lot of you out there. I know a lot of players are not a fan of this. I did a poll on my channel, 60% are actually not a fan, 20% are indifferent about it, and 20% do welcome it. I'm kind of in that pool where, you know, I can't really do anything about it, so I'm accepting of it. I'm kind of glad developers are putting some effort into it, but I hope in the future, where we do get other collabs potentially coming to the game, that they put the same amount of effort they put into this collab into other collabs, giving us some collabs the majority of the player base actually wants to see, because when it comes to Grand Cross, that is 7 days since Grand Cross, they just got a soul leveling collab, which is actually amazing. The units are great, and it looks like the player base is actually looking forward to it, summoning for those units and being very accepting of it. So I guess we'll see what happens here. Future collabs could be very promising, but this one here, we'll just have to see. The power creep is a major concern of mine. I hope it doesn't happen, and I hope they just supplement our current hunters, giving us an optional unit that we can include in our teams, or maybe just an optional beginner unit that people could use to make their gameplay easier. We'll see what happens. I'm positive about things. I feel like developers are hopefully not going to do us dirty, and things will be positive, but we'll see. I do want to see your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. But on that note, that is all I had for you today. Make sure you jump in and support us that way you don't miss out on the free codes I have for you. We have codes for 2,000 Essence Stones, Mad Park Tricks, and more. You want to get them because they do expire very soon, so jump in. The link will be down below, that way you don't miss out. But on that note, this is your Code King Zeph signing out. I'll see you in the next juicy video, of course.